officials have admitted to the New York Times, and this is a story that's out now, that it turns out the wiretaps under the Bush administration were more thorough and more invasive than they had previously admitted. You don't say. Really? You remember how they said, no, we're only going to wiretap Al-Qaeda and Al-Qaeda types, as Bush used to say. It turns out that's not true. And then they said, oh, look, we might be gathering all of your emails and phone calls, even the domestic ones here in the United States, but we're not going to actually listen to them. We just know that John called Nancy and he called Susie, but we're not going to listen to those calls. And it turns out, yes, in fact, they are looking domestically inside America, as they're not supposed to do. They were. And yes, they actually listened to the calls and read your emails. So they know what John said to Nancy and what he emailed to Susie. But if you think all of that is bad, wait till you get to the final revelation. They were considering wiretapping a United States congressman. No, but they assured us when Bush was in office they would never use this for nefarious reasons. They would never use it for political reasons. And it turns out now people are shocked and outraged that it turns out Karl Rove and George Bush would consider using the wiretaps for political reasons. They say, no, you don't understand. The United States congressman was possibly talking to a terrorist. Yeah, I'm sure. Right. And that they had to listen in. Luckily, actually, in this case, and shockingly, apparently somebody was talked out of this. Now, were there other instances that we don't know about yet? Come on. And by the way, I will predict a follow-up story. We will find out that they also listened in on the media. And then everybody will pretend to be outraged all over again. And maybe they're naive enough that they will be outraged. But we already know they listen on the media. One of the guys at the NSA already came out and said it. But for some reason, the rest of the media is like willfully ignoring it. And then one day the New York Times will break that story. And everybody will be like, oh my God, it turns out they use it for political purposes and they spied on the media and possibly congressmen. Wow. Turns out if you give people unrestrained power, they might use it for whatever purpose they like. I wish we had a constitutional amendment against that. Oh, that's right, we do. It's the Fourth Amendment, which Bush just ran right over. And so now they're calling for congressional investigations. Of course, now that it's touched them, right? Now all of a sudden the Democrats are like, wait a minute. You told us that you wouldn't spy on us. And there's a story out saying, hey, you know what? It's possible that they might have given Bush immunity for spying on them. Well, then you had it coming, didn't you? Now, that depends on an interpretation of the law, and it's unclear yet. But it turns out if you give Bush unchecked authority, he might have used it against you. How could you not see that coming?